should probably check that out. Well, yeah, let me double check to make sure that it's going the way it needs to be going. Let's just be smart about it. Should be going. Oh, let's log in because apparently my software doesn't stay logged in even though it should. All right, it's going. Is there a delay? Don't know if there's a delay. Anyway, hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully everything is doing what it's supposed to. I have a chat window here so I can see what's going on. The entire plan today was to do a how say you words and stuff. Q&A, like a Q&A chat about DID. So I can't speak words. It's Marion, they, them, it's on the screen. I have it set up so that if that shifts at all, I can show you on the screen so y'all will be clear about what's, going on. I don't really, I didn't have a whole bunch of questions. I should have asked people to submit questions for this, but that was not really the, I didn't do it that way. So I'm pretty much just going to be chilling. I have my coffee. I have my water, which I'm not going to also pick up because I'll probably knock the mic. And we're just kind of going to sit here for maybe, I don't know, probably an hour, give or take. If you hear bustle and hustle and bustle around abouts in the house, don't mind the hustle and bustle. My husband is home because he works night shift, so he's just woken up and he's doing chores and stuff, and mother-in-law and baby are also home. So if you hear people in the background, that is because people are home. So it is a weekend after all. It is Sunday. I have to remind us that it is a Sunday. Hello, Tay. Hello, queer unstable anarchist. I really like that name. I think I've seen you a couple times. Your name is pretty cool, my dudes. Pretty cool. Dude, as in gender neutral dude. I didn't grow up in California. I moved to California like a decade ago. Hi, Eric. I moved to California like a decade ago, and dude has been gender neutral since I lived in Virginia. So if I say dude, it's ungendered. I apologize if it's offensive to anybody. Please let me know if it offends you personally, and I won't use it with you. It's very simple. Yeah, we figured we've been planning on doing this stream. Hi, Tracy. We've been planning on doing this stream for a hot minute. We said, I think, well, it's still the first week. It's still technically, okay, it's this 2nd week of September, but the original plan was to do it in the first week of September because it's Depression and Suicide Awareness Month, Mental Health Awareness Month, and a couple of other awareness months, to be honest. I'm not up to on the level of all of the things, all the holidays and stuff. I barely am keeping track of our kids' school holidays because our daughter, just started kindergarten, and trying to keep track of all the school holidays is a brand new thing because I stopped keeping track when I wasn't in school because holidays only matter if they're federal holidays when you work my brain just completely forgot the word I was what? I don't know I don't know what I was saying, but anyway. Welcome to Dissociation Live. We aren't super dissociated, but switching could happen. It's possible. We are a little bit not distressed, but triggerable, whatever. Not entirely grounded right now. We're jamming the music behind the stream. You all can't hear it. I don't have it playing because it's copyrighted, and I don't want the stream to be taken down for lack of, or the copyright I don't want that to happen. So, but it's in my ears because it's keeping us grounded and here. And hello, Lumina. I will call you Lumina from now on unless that changes. So let me know if that changes. It's that way I don't, call you by the wrong name. But anyway, yeah. We're a little scattered, little dissociated, little scattered. Not distressed. No one's upset. I mean, a few of us are always upset, but no one is extremely triggered at the moment. Although our daughter did just make loud bang noise at the door because she, I think, ran into the door or something. She has a habit of doing that. She's got the energy of a tiny juggernaut, so, she moves at about 5,000 miles a minute, and I'm just forever impressed and blown away by the amount of energy this child actually has. And then I think about it, and I'm like, they used to say that about me as a kid, so maybe that's maybe it's a genetic thing. I'm 100% certain she's gonna be ADHD. So like 100% certain. It's not even a doubt in my mind, but I'm going to be patient and just wait for signs. But I mitigate them as I see them and help her out the way that helps my squirrels in our brain. So it's how we do the things. She's also really understanding of the different parts, which is very, very curious. Because she'll be like, Mommy, you don't sound like Mommy. You sound like someone different today. And we're like, well, we might be somebody different today. And she's like, okay. Hello, little one. Mama's streaming right now. I love you. Okay, that's fine, honey bunny. All right, but, oh my goodness, child. But, yeah, no, sorry. Kiddo came in to put something away in the room. I don't know. It was cute. She likes the we have a quartz face roller. Not rose quartz, amethyst. It's an amethyst, one of those roly tool face things that I've literally only ever used to rub my neck out because it helps with sore muscles. And I don't use it for face stuff at all, not even remotely. A little bit. I do use face stuff, but I just use my hands because tools, I don't know why. I don't know. It feels weird. Maybe I need to. Maybe that's the whole point. Maybe the feeling weird is the whole therapeutic part of the whole, like, massaging the face thing. Maybe I'm completely missing the point. Completely possible. I miss the point I feel like Drex a lot in life. I've never missed the point. It never goes over my head. I would catch it. Yeah, like me. That's me. I'd catch it. I would not catch it. It would I gotta stop looking at the monitor and start looking at the camera. So I'm actually looking at y'all instead of the monitor to make sure, because I know I'm in frame. I'm good. I'm not worried about that. I'm still getting used to the camera being there, because it used to be there, and we moved the desk around so it was more, not compact. What's the word? More, enclosed? There is a word I'm looking for, but I truly don't speak the English language sometimes, so I don't know what word it is that I am seeking. But, yeah, the whole idea of today's stream is literally just question and answer. So if you have, as long as it is, like, safe for work, I will answer it. You know, I can't be answering NSFW questions, especially on a YouTube stream, okay? But if you're curious about anything relating to, like, DID generally, non-RAMCOA, you know, or, you know, life in general, because you're getting to meet us as a system, that's what this is for. This is just kind of a rambly sort of hangout and chill and, see what's up. Accessible, yes, because everything is, like, here now instead of I have to lean around the monitor, because before it was set up, I had to lean around it was stupid. I don't know what we were doing. Leanne and Renee both had a hand in rearranging everything, and then I'm sitting here like, why did you guys do it this way? This makes no sense. So we're getting there. Of all the hosts, I think I'm the most not stream efficient. Efficient's the word I'm looking for, where, like, putting things we don't use a lot in places that are harder to reach and put things we use all the time, all that stuff. Easy accessibility. Yes, that's the word. Thank you, Lumina. Literally, that's the word. So Renee and Leanne get in their own way all the time, and it's really cute. Also, I'm like, girls, come on, let me help, please. Let me help. No help. We won't even ask ourselves for help. That's how hyper independent we are. It's a trauma reaction. Don't do that shit to yourself, especially if you're a system. Let your people help you. Holy crap. It's the whole reason that we were created in the first place. Like, we, the system, alters, all that, parts, whatever language you prefer, people, whatever parts, people, language, whatever you prefer, insert that word there, because I cannot use all of them every single time. I would sound completely off, out of my mind. So parts, people, whatever, are created to help protect the body. So if you're going through a thing and someone in the system goes, I got you, I can help you with this, and they're not, like, a super extra triggered part, sometimes it's okay to let them come out the front. Sometimes, especially if you have less amnesia, it's better to learn how to facilitate switching between yourselves. I also get where sometimes people are like, I can do this shit, and then they just yeet themselves to the front, and you're like, I didn't ask for your help, but thanks, okay, I don't remember anything now. Appreciate that, and you lose 2.5 hours because someone thought they were being helpful. It takes time. We've been working specifically. Look, okay, we were, again, diagnosed 2018, 2019, technically November 2018's early 2019, whatever, however you want to look at that. But certain members of the system will see it differently because Marcus and like Rebecca and a couple of others were the ones who were officially diagnosed originally when it all went down. And a lot of them have since either fused or integrated, or well, Marcus hasn't, but Marcus is just another story entirely. But yeah, but we've been working at it in the sense of we were accepting the system probably for the first 2 years. So probably 2019 to 2020 to 2021-ish was probably just us trying to come to terms with the fact that, yes, there's people here. Yes, they're there. No, you cannot ignore them away. No, you cannot meditate them away. No, there's nothing you could do to make it go away. You just have to start working at healing, which when you learn about your trauma, it kind of it's daunting because you're like, oh, I have to look at this again? No, because PTSD at its basic core is you didn't feel the feeling when the thing was happening, so now you have to feel the feeling now. Because it's not happening now, your brain is like, what the fuck, why do I feel this feeling? It feels like it's happening now. It's not, it's just your brain's trying to process it now. And, it takes a minute for that's where the disorder is. It's not comprehending PTSD all the way up to DID. It doesn't comprehend that what you're feeling is not happening now. It was happening then. You just couldn't feel it then, so now you're feeling it now. When will then be now? Soon, basically. First question, if you're okay with it. When did you find out about DID and when was your first symptom? Their first symptom was, Lumina is saying their first symptom was around 1 or 2, but we found out when they were 12. Okay. First symptom? Honestly, if we're being, like, if I have to go retrospect, because we're starting to piece together a lot of childhood, right? To really think about it, there were times growing up, I don't know, before the age of 10 or 11, where our mother would even say, you're not the same person today. Like, there's something wrong with you today. You're a different human. You're not my daughter. And it was very alienating at the time. Now, since we've healed a lot of the rifts, mom had hormone issues. It was a whole thing. She was crueler than she needed to be, but I also don't blame her entirely because hormones can make you be a piece of shit. Like, it does. There's a reason that some pregnant women or pregnant people get a little bit hormonal. There's a reason for those jokes and stuff because it's true. So that's kind of where it stemmed from with her. But she would tell me I was like a different person. There would be a lot of times as a kid where a parent or an authority figure would be like, why did you do this thing? And we would be like, I do not know. I don't remember doing that thing. Well, you clearly did the thing. Okay, thank you for telling me I did a thing. I don't remember doing it, but I believe you because what am I supposed to say? I didn't do it. So our signs are more retrospective, meaning I can look back and go, oh, all those times I thought I was lying, I was just switching. All those times I thought I was making it up, I was just switching. I just didn't remember because I did that. That's switching, you've been doing it since you're a kid. That's how your brain developed. Our first official, reference, official reference towards DID, we were 15 and going to a military trauma therapist, which I'm a military brat, so our doctor was also military. It's just kind of how it goes, If you're in the military, you know this, or if you're a military brat, or if you're from a military family, you know how the insurance nonsense is, specifically like TRICARE, etc. at all. So I was under TRICARE for a really long time, and I went through the military mental health system, which eventually dropped us because we were not active duty, and active duty takes precedence, which was fair given that there was a lot of conflicts going on at the time. But 15 from a military psychiatrist, and then our parents and, well, my mother specifically was like, absolutely not, there's no way, that's insane. What? Multiple personality disorder, that's not a real thing. Dissociative identity disorder, that's not a real my mother. And so it was bipolar schizophrenic, or excuse me, bipolar schizoaffective, and BPD is what they settled on when I was like 15. And then we kind of forgot about the DID part of it because they were pumping us full of medication, like trazodone, Wellbutrin, Abilify, bunch of other shit. Fast forward to graduating in like whatever, 2009, sorry. Just went off meds completely because I moved out of my parents' house out of the sheer need to escape their control, and bad marriage, no health care. Holy shit, everything kind of spiraled out of control for like 09 to 2014 when I met my husband, now current husband. And then finally things started kind of evening out and stuff. But that was like
2013.
2013. He says 2013. But
2015 was when we moved out here.
we moved out here in 2015. Apparently, yeah, says he as he wanders through the room doing stuff. But yeah. So I 09 to 2013 is like, it's not a haze. Unfortunately, a lot of us have trauma around those times because that's when a lot of things, adult, not safe for work, were happening, and we just don't talk about that online much. We're thinking about talking about it, given how much we've been seeing people talk about our basic traumas being fucking conspiracies. But, you know, that's not for this stream. This is not about that. This stream specifically is not about that because I wanted to be able to keep this accessible for anybody and not just, yeah. So we're going to leave that specific part of our trauma out for this stream. But anyway, that was a long-ass answer. Had signs when we were a kid. Heard about it the first time when we were 15. Hi, Cloud. First heard about it when we were 15, ignored it completely, found out again in like I want to say when we first started, because we met our husband in 2013 and we were still living across the country. And in the time that we were living in our first apartment, I remember kind of finding out about what DID was again through online. And I think it's during that time. I wasn't online in the DID community at all during this time period, but I believe it was during that time when I guess there was the big boom of a lot of the DID creators coming online. And I found out about it through, I want to say, it was, I believe they've been not outed, but they've been since sort of dismissed as a creator, which sucks. But we found a system that has since stopped posting system stuff and started posting unrelated to mental health stuff. It's very interesting, honestly. But they mentioned it, and then we were like, huh, that feels like something that we experience in the sense of like different people doing different things and thinking completely differently. And we were like putting those together, and then we just fucking forgot about it. We just DID, bye. And we completely forgot about it. And this is like at the age of 23 or something like that. And then 4 or 5 years later, Marcus tried to explain that there were more people in the head than just the current host at the time, to which my husband thought we were trying to tell him we were transitioning, and that was not the case. I mean, we did kind of, we are non-binary, but we weren't actually going female to male, but he took it that way, and so there was a whole, like, not fight, it wasn't actually a fight, it was more of just a confused, no, not Pixie Locks, I want to say it's like Autumn Asphodel or something, but they've since, they get a lot of flack now in the DID community, so I just assumed, like, the presentation maybe was stigmatizing to it. I don't know. I don't really know. I don't hear about them much anymore. I don't even know if they still create things, but they were the first exposure we had seen about the concept of DID, meaning different people in the brain. Didn't really take it beyond much more than seeing like that one video where they introduced 5 of their alters, and then I just never saw it again. Never thought about it again. Never looked it up again. Just system, what's the word now? System stuff can stay fucking buried for a real long time if your system's not ready for it. Late discovery counseling is absolutely always worth it. I think Cloud, I'm assuming, is who I'm talking to. Absolutely, counseling is always going to be worth it. I would tell every human being on the whole damn planet needs to go to some form of fucking therapy. All of us, every damn one of us, every single one of us, because every single human would benefit from a non-biased professional viewpoint that is outside of the parameters of their actual lived life. Because it gives you a third-party perspective that can kind of see an overarching picture where you may not be able to because you're in it. And that's just the way it is. Every human, you can't see what you're in. You're too close to the picture. It's like seeing the forest for the trees thing. You're seeing the tree. The therapist can see the forest. With DID-specific counseling, yeah, I would say it's never too late to start parts work. Honestly, it's not. Like, there is no too late to discover, too late to work on parts work. I am only 33, so I can't speak for being over 50, but I don't feel like it's too late. I don't. My mother-in-law is older, and she is just now discovering that she has some trauma symptoms, and she's working through them, and it's helping her. So, like, absolutely not too late ever to go to counseling totally look into it. Even if it's just kind of like basic, like trauma therapy. Don't do basic therapy. Don't do like if you suspect you're a trauma survivor, or if you are a trauma survivor straight up, if you have PTSD, DID, CPTSD, any of that shit, don't go seeking like, do not BetterHelp. Holy shit, never BetterHelp. No BetterHelp, bad BetterHelp. But absolutely make sure that you are seeking out a therapist that is dissociative disorder informed or trauma informed. That's very specific, especially if you've got anything dissociative, because therapists who are not trauma informed are not going to treat you in the correct, like, grounding manner. That the things that would help someone without trauma may be harmful to you with trauma, so you have to seek out the right type of therapist. Make sure they're trauma informed. That's the biggest thing. Hey, one time, I just saw the hey girl. Were they them? But I'll take girl, no worries. First exposure to our DID was a friend at 12. Oh gosh, I forgot who was fronting for you guys. I'm sorry, unstable anarchist. But our first exposure was a friend at 12. She was like, that sounds like RAMCOA. And that's how we found out. Another part was an alter screaming to leave the body during class. Panic. We did have, before we met our husband, actually, you guys just reminded me of it. We did have an experience in, what the hell is it called? College. Good God. A university where we went to the Art Institute, which ended up being sued for like false advertisement or some nonsense. So that's fun. But we went to culinary school with the Art Institute. And I remember the first, really extreme day of like drilling. So like we were learning how to prep for an unstable order. So like if someone had ordered this thing and then they changed their order, you have to be able to accommodate that in the kitchen. And that's what they were teaching. They were teaching the accommodation in the kitchen. Let me tell you what. It was like, make 3 servings, make 8 servings. Oh, wait, you only need 6. You can't waste food. I had already prepped more than 6. My brain just couldn't handle it. I panicked. I forgot my name. Whole meltdown in the middle of the kitchen. Chef Zelda was one of the student teacher chefs, and she had to come to the bathroom and make me feel better. My goodness, it was, and that was, we remember it as a system because she was like, hey, honey, because it was like our first or second day working with these people in the kitchen. Hey, honey, what's your name? And we remember just fully sobbing, apoplectic, just tears streaming down our face. We look at her and we go, I don't know, just sobbing, crying, snotting, everything. So yeah, that was another, again, hindsight's 2020, especially when you start realizing that a lot of your symptoms really were just you switching or, things like that. So, I'm sorry, I was babbling so much, I stopped reading the chat. Hang on, let's see. Hi, I'm going to call you Rox. Hi, Rox. Do you have any advice for anyone newer to their diagnosis or struggling with alters that aren't always kind to the rest of the system? Lumina, it's okay. Thank you, Lumina. My bad. Rocks. Okay. Advice to new to diagnosis alters that aren't always kind to the rest of the system. Okay. Look, it took us we're still working. Let me put it this way. We are still working 4 or 5 years later, whatever it is, with alters that fucking hate us. Like, I genuinely mean they fucking hate us. They do not wish for our kind heart to exist. They do not wish for us to have a happy life. They just don't fucking want it because that's their programming. They're trained to not have that healthy life. They don't want you to be happy. That's literally their job. They're put in your brain. I'm glad you made it to college and joined a sorority. I think I'm pretty sure I know who you are, but I'm not 100% sure. Give me a hint one time because unsure. I think I do, but please give me a reminder. You don't have to dox yourself or nothing like that, obviously, but give me a reminder that's innocuous and maybe I can remember. Or message me on Instagram or something during the stream. I'll check my phone in a little bit. I'm not doing it right now because I'll get distracted because the phone pit is real and squirrels pilot my brain. So if I pick up that phone, there's a huge chance I'm just going to be like, oh, bye, and end the stream. We're not doing that. So, but to alters that are unkind to the system, we have, because we are a program system, so we have some alters that were literally put there on purpose. I'm trying not to delve too hard into this so it doesn't can get too serious, but our alter, we have one who is, somewhat homicidal, excuse me, and we have one that's very suicidal. We have one that actively seeks to harm others for the sake of keeping us alone, because somehow alone is better than, and to them it is better. It's not. That's a lie that you were told in your programming. It's a lie that you were told in your trauma. All of it's a damn lie. I thought it was you. I thought it was you, my dear. I'm so glad you're healing, and I'm so glad you're doing better. Like, holy shit. Fuck yes. So glad. Yeah, well, you say persecutor. We have a couple persecutors. Eris is a persecutor protector. Gareth is a persecutor protector. So Nimue is technically a persecutor protector, because they used to be bad for us. You know, Gareth used to hurt us. Nimue used to do things that were harmful to the body. Who else did I say? Eris is still a whole-ass persecutor. She is still chaos. Her thought process is very much, nothing will stay the same. Do not allow it to stay the same. Chaos reigns. Like, which is why she's named Eris, you know. But we have parts that are not here for life. They're not safe for life. That's the best way to word it. I have parts that are absolutely not safe for life. Part of system work when you're doing therapy and when you've been in active therapy. Okay, this is not first-time diagnosis. When you've just been diagnosed, I'm so sorry, because it is so unstabilizing and it's so scary when you're first trying to handle all these parts in your brain. Oh my God, different wants. Oh my God, different needs. Eventually what happens is the parts that are angrier, the persecutors, the ones that are maybe doing anger protection. Again, Eris is protective in her chaos reigns, because when things change suddenly, we don't handle it well. Eris is like, just expect it to change then. What the fuck are you doing? You know, it's not always positive thinking, but that's how she works. You have to get them to a point, and it takes time. Nimue had to go through a lot of therapy in actual therapy, therapy in the sense of talking to her husband, honestly, knowing that he was there to support us. A lot of things. Literally, he had to like love us out of her hating us, which was wild, and it worked. But they have to be convinced that their actions are more harmful than helpful. If their actions can be shown to them to be harmful overall for the body, because at the end of the day, there are times where persecutors and perpetrators don't even realize that the system exists. Some of them are just acting because that's what they feel is safe, and it's what's going to protect them, what's going to keep them from dying, essentially, because some of these alters do believe death is imminent and it's around the damn corner, and it's not their fault. Okay, we've had parts that were literally tortured, so like some of them just think if we are conscious, we're gonna die. That's not their fault. It's not their fault at all. But it's also our responsibility as systems seeking to heal, seeking to grow, seeking to heal from the trauma, to ensure that they know it's not happening anymore. And that's so much easier to say than it is to do. Let me be so fucking real with y'all, because we couldn't, I don't even know how it worked for us. I think it came through necessity more than anything. Sigma split off. Whenever Sigma split off, actually, Sigma might have been around forever. I don't actually know how long Sigma's been around. I just know her role is to keep the super danger, super not safe for life parts away from yeeting themselves to the front vis-a-vis a lot of internal system mechanisms and things that I won't describe right now because that's way too long for this video. But maybe I'll make a video about it, who knows. But it took us, again, 4.5-ish years of solid therapy for us to get to the point where we could actually, like, communicate anything to anybody and switch a little easier and all that other stuff. So if you've just been diagnosed, please, 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 for the love of all that is good, take your time and be gentle with yourself, because you ain't gonna figure it out right away. And if you start comparing your healing to other people's healing, all you're gonna do is make yourself feel crappy. Like, period. Persecutors are not by nature programmed. I say programmed to differentiate between a RAMCOA system and a non-RAMCOA system, because RAMCOA is, my brain. Alters in a RAMCOA system are programmed parts, meaning your abuser sat your tiny child brain down and did some nasty things to it, and now you have multiple people in your brain. When you're not a RAMCOA system, I call it organic. I don't know if there's an actual phrasing for that that is appropriate, to be honest with you. But with organic DID, meaning you didn't have ritual abuse in your past, then your persecutors are just going to be persecutory because their behaviors are not positive to the overall health of the body or life as a whole. Hey, give me a moment, my daughter. All right, sorry. I had to answer a question and tell her I loved her. Stay safe, lovely. Have a good day. Okay, where are we? So the kiddos are doing great, by the way. I know you asked that before. Sorry, I apologize. If a new alter from a system member were to front, what do you do? Okay, wait. Now, Lumina, are you, or Anarchist, are you asking what I would do or what you should do if you switch in the middle of a thing? I just need to clarify the question because I am, in fact, a little dumb sometimes. Yes, not all RAMCOA is programmed per se, and not all RAMCOA has mind control, but I would hesitate to call it RAMCOA at that point, and I would actually probably call it TBMC because it is still like trauma-based. Ritual, I think I say it in my video, trigger warning for the briefest topic touch. I've done this. I didn't want to talk about it, but I'm going to anyway real quick. RAMCOA is ritual abuse, mind control, organized abuse. TBMC is trauma-based mind control. Both technically involve, quote, mind control, which generally just means, if you want to disseminate it, it means they're doing things to you to manipulate your way of thinking. There's a lot of ways to do that, and it's not just, I would just call you by a different name. Who are you, as long as you let me know who you are when you switch, and I will adjust accordingly. No worries. But what was I going to say? But with RAMCOA, there has to be an element of ritualism, meaning like patterning, doing it this way repeatedly. That is a form of programming. So I get what we're saying. We're not saying that everyone who is RAMCOA has been sat through actual like programming, sit down, do this thing. I get it. I do. But because it falls under an umbrella category, all of these things do have to be encompassed when we talk about that. I would see you by the way, yes, actually good question. If a small is in the chat, by the way, anybody out there, any of the systems out there, if there is a small in the chat, please let me know instantly. Let me know immediately, and I will change the subject topic to something a little more kid-friendly, or I won't even answer the questions that are a little bit hairy, okay? Let me know. you gotta let me know so I know who's around, because I can't see you guys. There's no visuals here. This is not a video chat. I can't see you the way I see my friends when we're chatting. So, but let me know, and I will tailor responses and try not to cuss as much if there's a kid around, etc. at all. Things like that. I'm not a monster. Plus, most of our system, because we have kids ourselves, littles, smalls, sorry, we don't personally like the phrase little, but that's a personal, our personal, meaning we will not call our own littles, we call them smalls because it's a personal thing. Don't mind hearing it in the chat, don't mind seeing it, not a big deal, not offended by it, so not a trigger or anything like that. But if we say small, we are talking about underage alters, period, full stop, end of story. Heard, Lumina. Yeah, we have similar pieces of nine. We have the whole thing about that. So I do understand that being very rough. I am, however, going to turn off the chat for just a second until that clears, just because I don't want to leave that too much on the screen, triggering wise, And again, there's no judgment here. You are in a safe space, but this is a public stream, so I will keep your things kind of. If you sit here and you drop some trauma in the chat, I might blind the chat so no one can see it, just for the sake of other people being triggered, people watching the stream later, etc. at all. Again, I got you. We are safe here. This is a safe stream. So just say what you got to say, do what you got to do, but I will just blind it out until it changes if I need to, in case something really triggering gets posted, which is fine. Again, what is this called? We're kind of learning about this as we go. We're seeing how the process goes, you know. But anyway, yeah, we did stray into RAMCOA a little bit. I didn't really mean to, and I apologize for that. It is, we are a survivor of it, so it's part of our primary trauma, so there's not a whole lot we can do to entirely avoid it, but I try not to delve too hard into it in lives because there could be non-systems. Yeah, ours was entirely it was very similar to what you're talking about, Pieces of Nine, in the sense of exchanging for money kind of thing. It's not, it's definitely, it's a harder topic for sure. It's definitely something that we have started learning to accept, but have trouble accepting. Yes. Lumina, question mark. Sorry, I was kind of dissociating a little bit. All right. Okay. All right. Chat's back up. Yeah. You can absolutely, especially with this new day and age of social media, you can go through a lot of TBMC type stuff online, especially with creators of doing things like isochronic tones and binaural beats and all that other crap. There are online hypnotists out there. There are online people out there who do horrible things to people because they're assholes. So definitely a valid thing that can happen, Lumina, because I understand you might be switchy, so I'm not making fun. I literally see the 2 question marks. My brain has to do that tone. Sorry. I have not started EMDR yet. The thought process has been brought up with my therapist a couple times. She actually wants me to do art therapy first, apparently, which is, I guess, interesting because if you think about it, I've never actually been sat down. I have never, in a therapy setting, sat down and made art or whatever, drawn any. I've never done that. We've never done that in therapy. I don't know if it's a fear thing or what, but we just haven't done it. Our therapist does not think we're ready for EMDR yet because of how easily destabilized we can get. So we aren't at that point yet. And some DID systems don't benefit from EMDR because if you aren't fully able to stay regulated and grounded, then EMDR can be ridiculously destabilizing, and that can just cause trauma memory flooding, which causes increases in other negative symptoms, and then we're all in distress. So EMDR is something that is personal per person and system, and your therapist and your care team. So I will not sit here and recommend or deny EMDR, but tread with caution. My view is tread with caution. My therapist says personally I'm not ready for it yet, but I also have a therapist who is EMDR certified. So I trust her to know whether or not I am capable to handle the possibility of the things that can happen. Oh my gosh, excuse me, I had to burp. Sorry. Oh God, so sorry guys, my bad. Hello, my lady dear. I'm just gonna call you Stormy because that's what you used to go by. Yeah, our Calliope says, absolutely not. We will not be doing that. So yeah, EMDR is for us. Movement desensitization. Oh man, EMDR, eye movement desensitivity. Oh God, hang on, let me look it up. I feel like a dumbass right now. You give me just a moment, I can look it up so I say the right thing because I am not gonna say the right thing. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. I'm just gonna Google it because it's better that way. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. There we go. Oh man, I knew it. Desensitization. I just couldn't remember the last one. But yeah, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which basically the way EMDR. Hi, Genesis, by the way. The way EMDR works, I will not be able to speak that acronym successfully. It's lucky that I can do it the way I have. the way that my therapist explains it is you'll either do bilateral tapping, which is what I do now to ground, which is doing this. You cross your arms and you tap the opposite shoulders, kind of helps you be in your body, or you do that kind of tapping, or you're watching them do some sort of bilateral, meaning your eyes or your body is going to be doing a back and forth, either physically or visually, whilst participating in this back and forth motion of either tapping your body, drawing on paper, watching a pen. You are going to talk about this thing that you're going to talk about, whatever trauma it is. Hi, alien. Whatever trauma it is that you're going to talk about, that's how you talk about it. So you talk about it while engaging in this back and forth repetitive motion. That back and forth repetitive motion allows your brain to talk about the thing without being super extremely triggered by it or being less triggered by it, which allows you to work through it, process it, and actually be like, this is what happened. I wish I had done this, but I couldn't, but I was a child and I can forgive myself for that. And then you can kind of move through it. You do have to remember the thing, and a lot of times you're going to be triggered by it. But the point of the EMDR is to keep you grounded whilst being triggered, which is why you do need to have a certain level of emotional regulation and coping skills in your toolbox before you ever start doing EMDR. Otherwise, it can be destabilizing, and then it actually harms more than it helps. So, yeah, there you go. That's my pontification about EMDR. Rocks. As an artist, what I have found is that my writing and art were how parts were communicating before I was consciously, but I'm worried about it for the same reasons. Look, Rocks, let me tell you, I didn't realize that I wrote half of my alters into my fantasy book until after the system had cracked. We'd been in therapy, and then I found the draft of my first, fantasy novel on my old Google Drive, on my old email, right? Oh my God, Gareth, Marcus, Rebecca, Calliope, they're all fucking in the book. It's hysterical. And it's literally their personalities. It's literally the way they are in the system, but in the book, it's wild. Honestly wild. Trips me out every time I go back and read it. Sometimes I want to finish it, but then I'm like, was I writing my trauma into a book? I'm not really sure what's happening here. And then we get freaked out by it and we run away. So yeah, we're lucky in the sense of therapy. Our therapist is literally, our trauma therapist is a nonprofit, 5013, like straight up. There is no, they're not, this is, it's a nonprofit. My insurance is covering it from the state, but literally they're not a commercial, it's not some Kaiser Permanente shit, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't really know much. I just know Kaiser sucks. So, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, Stormy, that is dissociation, and PTSD is going to be a bitch for a while. And you know what? I got you. I'm here for you. I get it. I feel you. I know that was some shit to go through. So you got my contact, hang on. 5 pieces of 9. Yeah, a lot. Okay, the way it works, what you just described, parts using you as a liaison is pretty normal, especially in a high complexity or most DID systems are going to have at least one liaison in the sense of this is the person that talks to people about serious shit. That's a thing for sure across most systems. Program systems are probably going to have a very specifically one kind of person that does the speeching or the things, communicating things that are serious. Calliope knows everything. Everything. And as a result, our husband does know more about our trauma than we know individually about our trauma. But that's kind of fine because that's how he can help us. It's not going to work for everybody. It works in our relationship because we just trust him that way. I don't know how to explain it to y'all, but we trust our partner enough to know that if he knows things about us and he hasn't left us yet, it ain't going nowhere. It's been 13, November will be 13 or 14 years now. So we're not, it's good. But we're blessed and we are in entirely aware of how lucky we are to have someone who was willing to sit down and figure out the work and take on the role of being halfway a therapist and caregiver as well, because that's a lot more than most people in a relationship. Like, it's not, how do I say this? I wouldn't demand it out of anybody's partner. I wouldn't. Like, okay, this is going to sound really shitty. All right. But it is nobody's partner's duty, okay? It's not their duty to be there for your trauma. It's not. It really isn't. And I'm just going to be real with you. God, if this sounds shitty, I'm so sorry. But it's not your supporting partner's job to have to be there for your trauma, because literally, what if they're going through it too? It's not a fucking duty. It's not. Okay? Yes, hold support. That doesn't necessarily mean being your therapist, like sitting down and listening to the deep dark. Like, that's not necessarily your partner's job. I am lucky that my partner basically said, if you don't talk to me, then what's the point of trusting me? And so he's willingly opened himself up to being almost a second therapist, doing research about it, helping me kind of try to understand why I think the way I do, why one part's triggered out, why this, that, the third, like, he's very involved in our care in that sense. How do I explain this? If you have DID, and your relationship is anything less than supportive of your system and helping you either function better or heal, then you are not with the right person. Your person is going to be supportive of you regardless of what you're going. They're going to be there. So, like, it's not a partner's job to be there. It's not. But the right one will be. So take that how you will, because we went through partners before that didn't know about the DID because we didn't know, and it caused a lot of problems because they didn't have the capacity. We didn't have the capacity. My husband now is like the safest human ever. I would literally trust him with my entire soul. Okay. So yeah, the whole safety from people is hard to come by, especially if you've been through extreme trauma constantly, but the right ones do show up. And they don't go away when you tell them to fuck off. That's the thing. Like, my husband, Nimue has called him all kinds of horrible names. I think we've accused him of being, an assaulter and all that other shit. Like, bad fucking things, okay? And this man's like, yes, and I understand why you call me that, because you're traumatized and you don't see it that way and they don't see it the right way. A lesser person would take that personally and be like, I am not that, go away, but he understands that someone is in pain, seeing it from a pain point of view, and so maybe give them some grace. That doesn't excuse shitty behavior. I still apologize for when we treat him like shit, because sometimes we say some shit when we're fighting, but we're fighting less because we're communicating better internally and understanding that a lot of our misunderstandings come from our own triggers, and we're just not dumb, we're just traumatized. So we're learning, It is a lot of work, and it is very rewarding. I just went on a whole ramble. I apologize, y'all. Yeah, therapists, unfortunately, they're just as varied as the humans of the world, which means you're going to get some real good therapists and you're going to get some real shit therapists. And that's the reality of pretty much everything. If we're being honest, there's going to be good doctors, bad doctors, good religious people, bad religious people. There's extremists across every category of humanity, period, full stop, end of story. There's extreme systems online. There's extreme influencers. There's extreme news broadcasts. There's extreme religious folks. Like, there's extremities across every single category of human being. So you are doing yourself a disservice if you compare everybody to the most extreme. I understand being wary of the most extreme, but you can be aware of things that are extreme without having it run your life to the point that you do not exist in a world that is less extreme. I know that was a complicated statement because, again, it's 4 or 5 solid years of actually realizing we were in a safe place for real. Not like pretend safe, but like actually safe. We're still kind of working on that. Like, there are still days where we just don't feel safe in the house. So I'm saying all this like, oh, it's so easy. It is not. It is not. And I don't mean that in any capacity that it's easy, because it effing sucks. But yeah, we got our new therapist 3 years ago, and then we switched inside the same company to another therapist that our first therapist personally handed us off to, like vetted her for us, and he was like, all right, she's gonna be great, and she's been fantastic. I fucking love my therapist more than I can explain to you. Like, love her to death. Even my doctor actually has given more shit this time around. But sometimes you're gonna bounce around. I've been in and out of therapy since I was 15 years old, guys. I am 33 years old now. That is a long time to sit there and bounce around between mental health people. It's unfortunately, it takes time, trial, and error. And it's so easy, especially if you have PTSD, to be scared away from the process of the trial and error because you have a bad experience with one. And then when you have PTSD, of course, your brain's going to categorize that as, what the fuck, I'm never going to do that again. And so it sucks so much. But eventually your brain will click around and be like, I either am going to get the therapy or I'm going to lose my mind. Because that's where we got to. We got to the point of, all right, well, it's either commit myself into an institution or get an actual therapist that will actually do something. And we finally found one. It took a while. Again, it was not an easy journey. And there was more than one time that we thought we were going to absolutely lose our gourd. Just implode, explode all at once, whatever, supernova, like a white dwarf or whatever. I don't know. Is that the right star thing? I'm not an astronomer. I'm not an astronomer. I don't know. But it's hard. It's not easy. And trying to heal from it actively, remembering to actively do the work to heal from it is also hard. Because there's going to be days you're going to need to wallow for a little bit because you have to feel the pain. You do have, unfortunately, when you're healing, to feel the pain that you avoided when it happened, because your brain avoided it because it couldn't handle it then. Now, hopefully, with time and what was I saying? Yo, I forgot what I was fucking saying. I'm kind of, I don't know what went down just now in my brain. I'm just gonna, for a minute. I lost my train of thought completely. Just gone. Goodbye. Who knows? I have no idea what I was talking about. We're gonna... Oh shit, there's a gender thing too? Hang on. Fuck. How do I do that, dudes? Y'all could have given me the lowdown before I... Okay, hold on. I got this. Aight. Yodels. No one did anything bad. We're good. We're fine. I got all switchy and shit. That's on me. Or not on me, but I don't know. We were talking too much, and then, the mouth kept going. I'm trying to figure out how to turn everything back on. Just give me a second, y'all. I don't speak technology, guys. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, hold on. Aight. Haha. Alright, we're good. I turned it all back on. Hi, it's Drystan. Nice to see you. Nice to meet you. I'm the gatekeeper-ish. Gatekeeper, yeah. I'm the gatekeeper of the system. Also, protector. Used to be the primary dude for the kiddos. The kid babysitter. Still technically the kid babysitter, but now River helps me with that, so that's cool. Yeah. Q&A chat, I assume, because we've been talking about this for months now, and we finally got around to it, it looks like. Yo, I'm Drystan. You know, switches are fun and abrupt, but it's fine. Marion was getting a little, they were getting a little flustered because sometimes when we have too many thoughts at once. Okay, here's a thing that happens. I don't know if it happens to any other system. Hey, I guess I don't know who's fronting, but hello. Sometimes we'll get a bit flustered because 5, 8 people are trying to have an opinion or add to the conversation, and then they'll say what the fuck they're gonna say, and then they interrupt the host or whoever's talking at the time, and then they forget, and then they get mad that they forgot, and then we're going through the process of being angry at ourselves for interrupting ourselves while we're trying to talk to ourselves. So anyway, we triggered ourselves. No one did anything bad. We too many people tried to say shit, and we tripped over each other, got stuck in the doorway, and then Marion was like, "I'm out." So no worries. We're fine. I don't even remember what we were fucking talking about, to be fairly honest with all of y'all. I think we were talking about relationships, like our relationship and our DID, but I also know that maybe that was the trigger, so fuck if I know, guys. I am here to continue the stream. Answer more questions if you have them, from the perspective of a gatekeeper rather than the host, because I am a gatekeeper, not a host. I don't think I've ever, I hosted a little bit back when when we bodily were 19 and I was 19, but that's a story for, like, my meet. Did I do a meet me? I don't think I've done a meet me, actually, now I think about it. I'm pretty sure I've never done a meet. Well, maybe I'll do one of them videos someday, or maybe I have. I don't fucking remember. Not a clue. Anyway, hope y'all are doing all right today, this lovely Sunday. It's a fucking 100 degrees outside, so we're in here dying. DID is Dissociative Identity Disorder. It is a trauma-based disorder that stems from childhood trauma and usually repeated trauma. And when I say repeated, I mean like patterned trauma throughout life. It doesn't have to necessarily be the same specific incident, but it's formed in childhood, usually before the age of 9, because that's when your brain is still learning and growing and developing, and if it doesn't have a chance to properly develop, then you get multiple people in one brain like we are, and some other systems are, Gatekeepers. I don't know if it's a universal thought process for systems, because every system's going to have a little bit different vernacular to their fucking descriptions of each other inside the system. I believe Gatekeeper does come from IFS, which is internal family systems therapy, which is something used for people without DID, but it can also translate across to DID as well, because they have protector parts and child parts and all that, higher selves and all that other stuff. So it is possible to tweak IFS to the understanding of DID, but it's not usually, like, again, they are two different things. But yeah, gatekeepers, generally the ones that, how do I say this? We are the attendance sheet holders, the guy at the door guard, the doorman, the concierge at the hotel gate, the person who vets the person going to the front. Also the one who makes sure that someone dangerous, if they get past our first defense, doesn't get past me. So I am essentially the last line of defense before all hell breaks loose. But we also have Calliope, Sigma, and Alice as prior defenses to me. So if it has to come through me, all y'all done messed up. Not literally, but if I am the one, yeah, I'm a bouncer. There you go. That's a great reference. Drystan, Gatekeeper is like the system bouncer. We make sure that the parts that are going to cause havoc try not to cause havoc, and if they still do, we work with it after the fact. Sometimes they slip past, man. Some of them are squirrely, okay? So be real about that shit. DID is absolutely a body unfeeling thing. We call that depersonalization or derealization. Depersonalization is the body not being yours or real. Derealization is the world around you is not real. Feeling like you're in a video game, or that everything's an animation or something like that. Just saying, because you said you were once the host, so am I the host? Oh, no, okay, well, okay. Can the host be the gatekeeper? Absolutely, absolutely. But I was not the gatekeeper when I was the host. I will be clear about that. I was promoted to host after Marcus and Gareth originally fused and became Cass. And Cass was just the biggest piece of scum that I think I've ever encountered, that treated the system like a absolute, he was horrible. And I lost my temper and sort of punched him in the face. And that whole conflict a couple months ago, I want to say that was in like June or February, I don't know, a while ago, earlier this year. I lost my temper with Cass and got into an internal fight with him, which resulted in him splitting back into Marcus and Gareth. And then we realized Marcus was actually much more dangerous than we had ever given him credit for. So we had to kind of shuffle some stuff around. So I got promoted to gatekeeper. River got promoted from social front, because we don't work customer service anymore, to kiddo watcher, because she loves the children and the children love her. And that's how that restructure went. It has nothing to do with me having been the host, although maybe that helps. Usually the hosts don't know enough to stop anybody. So, like, the hosts are usually the ones, Marion, the host, Marion, Leanne, Renee, there's one other whose name is completely, Kirby was host for a while. They just get yoked around. They don't have any control. They don't get to make decisions with the system. And I'm so sorry that sounds so mean when I say it that way, but it's true. The reason I'm here is because everyone else decided to cause chaos, and I was like, get in here. And she's been trying to come inside all day anyway. I just figured now was a good time because everyone else caused chaos inside, so I gotta make sure that the chaos doesn't reign. And thank you, Eris. I appreciate your input. But yes, yes, what Kelly said, dissociative identity disorder. Used to be called multiple personality disorder until 1994, where it was officially changed in the DSM-5 from MPD to DID. Yeah, gender fluid, shadow being. Well, that's fine. Like, nice to see you, shadow peoples. I have no issue with that. We have a part in there, her name is Phoenix, that is fire and shadow. So I flame and shadow. So, hello. She's also I say she. She's also gender fluid. She'll use she, because Phoenix is a very feminine feeling thing. The Phoenix in Chinese culture is usually associated with the Empress, and the dragon is anyway, but all that to say, welcome, oh shadowy one. It's nice to see you. I'm not mocking you at all. I am genuinely saying welcome. Gatekeeper is not usually the host, but does hang out with most of them. Yeah, our I can talk to all of them. I try to hang out with all of them, but some of them are just, the program ones are harder to hang out with. I talk to Sigma a lot, but Sigma deals with them the most because she can cope with their nonsense, I guess, for lack of a better word. My question is, were you all in the dark until it really came to the surface and got to know pieces and parts? Look, there are still some people that just are like, there's no one else in here, and we're like, y'all are in denial. So, yes, they, them works. All right, my NB friend, you shall be they, them. Question. Okay, the way that our system discovery went, which I will always find hysterical even though we don't like the man, is that we all thought Marcus was like an imaginary friend. We thought he was like everyone talked to people in their head. I figured, I keep slouching. Sorry, y'all. But I think we didn't realize that it wasn't a commonplace occurrence for human beings to have conversations with other human beings inside of their brain. Hi Hatch, I love you so much. Nice to see you. It's Drystan, by the way. But, fuck, I forgot what I was saying again. Whatever, it wasn't that important then. Can't have been. Saying hi to Hatch was more important. Love you. But, Surface. We thought Marcus was like an imaginary friend for a long time. We thought it was normal. Talking to yourself, having whole ass conversations, arguments, disagreements, emotional upheavals with yourself. Totally thought it was normal. And then we started doing therapy when we were like 15 and found out that was in fact not, normal, as they say. And I hate that word because, what is normal, but also took us a minute. Took us some time. Why did that one come up blank? So strange. Oh, there it is. And the emojis take time to load in the chat. That's so funny. I'm so sorry. My goodness. Yeah, but yeah, we knew in a way, but we didn't know it wasn't a standard way of existing. And then we discovered that that's actually disordered. And then we were like, huh, maybe it's, and then once we were actually, you know, properly diagnosed when we were like 28, thanks, Restream, for letting me know. I appreciate that. Sorry, my chat bot just distracted the hell out of me. Oh, Lord, what was I saying? Yeah, we thought it was normal, learned it wasn't, and then said, meh, and we just kept doing it anyway. So, okay, system diagnosis, really what it did was it made our dissociative, the barriers that I guess were doing a real good job of being barriers and us not noticing. Suddenly we realized that we were losing time. Suddenly we became aware that things were not the same, that things were moved. Awareness happened sort of gradually, but also at the same time very abruptly, and it was a very jarring experience to go from everything's fine to I can't hide from myself anymore. It's the worst shit ever, actually. But you can't go back once you discovered it usually. So now you're just working with what you got, helping people heal, helping people realize you are not in the place of trauma anymore. Hopefully you're not. If you are, I'm so sorry. But if you're not being traumatized actively anymore by your abusers, you know, your system's still trying to figure out what year it is. Like, think Robin Williams and Jumanji. What year is it? Literally, though, because that's what it fucking feels like, truly. Like, truly, and it's an astounding process that I would wish on nobody at all. You work with these others, just work or you might or no. Okay. Anarchist. My lovely NB friend, don't be frightened. Don't be frightened. You're safe. You are safe. You are good. You are fine. We're going to breathe. We're going to take some big deep breaths. We're also going to drink some water. We're going to all drink some clean water because we're going to ground a little bit, and we're going to sit there and we're going to calmly go, I am safe and I am loved. And we're going to remember that we are safe and we are loved. And we're going to remember that everything here is safe and that nobody here is going to hurt anybody else here. NH. What do you mean people don't have like 15 voices in their heads at all? Yeah, let me tell you, that was a very weird set of parameters that were presented to us. And we're going to deep breath. You don't need to be scared. It is all good. Your brain has reasons for doing things. Maybe the conversation was getting overwhelming. Maybe you're just here to sort of be here without a lot of stress. Maybe you're just here to experience the chat. Don't overthink it. Don't worry too much about it. That's a big mistake I see new alters make all the time, is you overthink and you overworry what you're supposed to do. Yeah, who gives a shit? Exist. Recognize your safety. Recognize where you are. Recognize what year it is. It's 2024. It is September 8th. 2024. It is 3:08 p.m. Pacific time. I don't know where your time zones are. I apologize for that. Remember that you are in the present and it is okay. You can think of a name on your own, or you can perhaps let the system name you. I don't know. A lot of our alters came with their own names, so I don't really know. Like, they just sort of had one. And if you look up the name meetings, it's very interesting. The brain seems to just subconsciously pick names that work with their function. Like what they do the most in the system, not their function. It sounds robotic when I say that, but your brain did make you for a reason at first, so. Yeah, intentionally triggering a system is terrible. Like, that's not something you should ever do to any system ever. It's disgusting behavior. And unless you are a therapist doing active therapy, because EMDR is technically intentionally triggering a system, don't do it for amusement. Don't do it for entertainment. And don't do it because you don't like the alter who you're talking to. Too bad. Get over it. Go hang out with someone else. Freaking put your big boy pants on, big girl pants on, put your big people pants on and get over it. It's going to happen. There's chance are you've met more than one DID system and you've had switches happen in front of you and you just didn't even know it. You just figured their mood changed. So, truly, be nice to each other. Don't be dicks. Don't trigger each other on purpose. Don't trigger your system members. Don't trigger your system friends. Don't trigger your system family members or whatever. Don't do it. It's really rude. How we doing, Anarchist? Are you alright over there? Just checking in on you, dear. Making sure you're alright. Oh, our weekend sucked ass, but, you know, we don't talk about the things that suck. We do, but we'll probably talk about it in a video or something. It is kind of related to trauma stuff, so ours was rough. Anarchist, I hope you're okay over there. We're just checking up. All right. 2024. Ah, okay, you are a time locked. I understand. That means the last time you were around, it was 2016. The last time you were around, Anarchist, it was 2016, and that's okay. It is 2024 and a whole lot has happened, but the environment you're currently chatting in is safe. It is safe. You are good here. If the chat becomes triggering, you are more than welcome to dip out if you need to, but you are safe here. It's 2024. It is. I don't personally know where you are, so I can't really give you any local things that'll help you, but maybe open YouTube if it helps you kind of see some of the current stuff, or I don't know how your system handles grounding into the present. I'm not sure what your procedures are. Ours, we have a book that we use that helps us with years. It's our journal. It's just kind of a filler-in thing. I don't know if you have a journal or a notebook nearby that maybe might have guiding information about who, what, where, when, and stuff. I don't know. I'm unsure what you have around you. I'm so sorry about the active shooter 9. That is always going to be rough. I'm so glad the protector made it better. Yeah, the background music, yo, that's what I'm doing right now. I don't know if y'all you can't hear it actually at all. So that's like beside the point. But Uzmet Ozcan is his name. Uzmet space Ozcan. Very fucking zen, awesome, good fucking music. I love it so much. He's like techno. You are not 12 anymore. You are now, I can't do math. Oh man, 16. You are 20 now, according to math that I can barely do because I had to count on my fingers. Shh. I have dyscalculia, leave me alone. I'm also dyslexic, but you know, many struggles. Yeah, we have like way too many journals, honestly. There are so many blank books of random authors randomly writing like 5 words or like 2 pages and then just forgetting the book exists. So I might just that might just be a meme video I'll put as a short because it is ridiculous the amount of blank journals we have that have 2 pages used and then whoever was hosting or writing at the time forgot it existed or whatever. It's nonsense. It's madness. It truly is. It's truly ridiculous. But at the same time, here we are still buying journals. Dyscalculia? Dyscalculia. Yes, dyscalculia. Math. Bad at math. Bad at numbers. Numbers don't stay in the same order. The only way I can do basic math is an abacus. Because I can feel this thing. Hold on. Be right back. No, it's in here somewhere. Hang on. Shuffling around. It sounds like math. Ah, here it is. We love it so much. It makes it so easy to math because here, I'm just gonna basically show you. You move all of them. Okay, that's reset, right? This is the setting of basic, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move this. This is 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is now 10. So if I wanted to do like 16, that's what the top 2 rows is what the number 16 looks like. So it took time for me to learn how to do it, but basic math is so much easier on an abacus for us because tactile, you can't really feel numbers written on a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper, but you can feel an abacus, and that has helped us immensely with basic math and feel less like struggly with numbers and accounting. Accounting is so much easier on an abacus than a calculator. It's so silly. I don't know. Whatever, dude. Work with the skills that you got. Do the dedicated journal, but also come to peace now with the fact that as a DID system with a dedicated journal per altar, you are gonna just have a fuckload of books that that just take up space. I will absolutely, now that I've talked about it, I'm gonna actually have to show you all the journal area. My whole entire, I have a cabinet in the closet, the safe area. I think Gareth has filmed in there a couple times, and we showed it in one of our vlogs. But there's a white cabinet in there that looks like a medicine cabinet that just is filled with freaking journals, blank journals. It's ridiculous, and they all have a little bit of writing in it too. It's not embarrassing, but guys, can't just stick to one journal. Put it all in one book. We have a big one that we're trying to keep everyone journaling in, but it's not fucking working. Journaling is hard. I'll admit it. Like, we love writing, but actually sitting down and doing it is hard. Though we found out it's a lot easier with a fountain pen now, because it's more endearing to write with a fountain pen than it is to write with a pen or a pencil. So, take that what you will. I don't like writing because I'm fucking right-handed, and the body muscles haven't used the right hand in so long to write that my handwriting looks like it came from a 5-year-old. And that's fine, but, that was one of my primary traumas was the right-handed thing. My name used to be Demon, okay? And then this sweet Australian Kiwi babysitter renamed me to Drystan, dark-haired one, because I had dark hair at the time. Now I don't right now, but had dark hair at the time, so yeah. Writing is, look, when it comes to systems and writing in your journal, a lot of it is, do you even want to write? Some parts ain't gonna wanna. Some like to type. I have a couple that do poetry on the computer only. They will not do it in the journal. They won't do it by hand because they can format it on paper, on a document, and format it like a poetry book so it looks cool visually to the way that they want it, like visually designed the way they wanted. So, and you can't really do that same way with handwritten, I guess, to them. I don't know, but so, and there's some that do graphic, I could show you one of the things, actually, because it's not... Oh, Lord. Oh, God. Don't fall. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, it fell. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. I dropped a thing, but it's fine. Anyway, hopefully that wasn't too chaotic for y'all. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. Look, bird. Anyway, Jesus. Sorry, that was not supposed to be as chaotic as it was. Here, yeah, that's words. Also words. Yeah, you know what? I'll just flip through it. It's nothing too terribly personal, but this is our, like, universal journal. There's a poem. Oh, there's another poem. There's a spread. Oops, shit. Some people work better doing, like, hang on, I'm trying to show it to y'all, like, scrapbook spreads and stuff, And then, oh yeah, here's another one. I actually like the scrapbook spreads a lot. I don't know who does them all in the system, but they're really cool when they do them. When they actually sit down and do them. This is Marian's first entry when she hosted. So, she always writes in cursive. It's the wildest thing, because I don't know if you noticed the first two. The first two literally are that, and then that, which was ya. Oh no, one was the kiddos, one was the smalls, and one was ya. So, it's wild. It's wild to see. So this is the universal book. We're working on it slowly. It seems like some people are very willing to use it, and some are like, absolutely the hell not. We will never write in that ever. So, hit or miss, or you never know. Oh gosh, sorry about this, guys. You never know who's gonna cooperate with therapy, but you gotta try, and that's the nature of how, DID is. It's all trial and error, honestly. The reason healing is so hard to track and so hard for doctors to nail down and so hard for patients to talk about is because it's different for every human. No one is gonna talk about their trauma the same fucking way. Like, it's just not gonna happen that way. What might help one person is not gonna help another person, and the idea that we're trying to universally make one size fit all for a disorder that, like, is absolutely the opposite of one size fits all. Yeah, there's not enough research done on it, and because not enough people believe that it's even a real damn thing. So that's a lot of, things that I just, stars and shit. Sorry, dude, I apologize. I'm not trying to be rude. I just don't know what that means. And for some reason, it's freaking the brain out, so we're gonna do that for a minute. But anyway, I'm gonna actually head off here because I already told my family that I was only gonna be here for about an hour, hour and a half. It's an hour and a half now, so we fucking love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for stopping in. We'll do another thing. I like this one better personally, but we'll do another thing, and we'll do another stream at some point. Yeah, this was actually a lot of fun. I'm pretty chill about it. It's pretty cool. It'll stay up. It'll be posted so you can watch it back, whatever the fuck. Subscribe, whichever channel you're watching this on. If you're seeing this on the Unplugged channel, subscribe. If you're seeing this on the Illuminated channel, subscribe. Say hi. We try to stay active here. We're taking a Twitter break right now, but we are going to be the Twitter is not dead. It's just, there's been a lot of fucking bad news and the system's having a hard time coping with all of that. So, anyway, lots of love. We'll see you all. What is this? We'll see you all in a little while. New, thing. We have an altar called 9. And on that, I'm out. Bye, guys.